Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Phoenix Spiritual Coach with me, Jordan Richards, here at SPTV. Please tune in, like, share, follow. Let's get the community online, get those questions forwarded to me, and don't forget you've always got the chance of a live reading here. You want to connect with me directly, you can do that via, obviously, the links that Richard kindly provides across the bottom of the screen, or you can just go to jordanrichards.com and check out my website. So let's see who's online and join us this evening. Don't forget, give us your name and give us your location, because we know that we have many viewers worldwide, all connecting on different time zones. Good evening here in the UK from Mel Dean. Lovely. Okay, good evening, Kirsty McLeish. I'm assuming you're that's is that Halloween you're getting ready for on that picture or not? Do tell me. Oh, that's lovely. Laura Grant, Canada. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, and what a lovely little picture that is. Catherine Johnson, good evening to you too. Nice smile there, lovely. Sarah L, good evening. Yes. Good day to you. Good evening to you. Good morning to you, wherever you are in the world. Good evening, Jane Alexander. Absolutely. Hello, everybody. Yeah. Good evening, Helen Mansell, even. Yeah. And Haley from Sussex. Lovely, lovely to have you all with us. Jennifer GR, hi Jordan from New York City. Absolutely love New York. Have to go back again. Catherine from Ireland, lovely. Welcome to SPTV and sharing the love. Good evening, Alicia. Yes, I know Alicia. Kirsty McLeish. Okay. Yes, it's a filter from within one of the games you were playing on your page. Ah, right. Okay. Interesting. I don't play the games very often, so I must have been just having some time out and been a bit bored. Okay, good evening, Louise Brown. Hello, all the way from Ireland. I know where Louise is. Natasha Hanbury, South Wales, lovely, very nice. Might be going to South Wales myself later on in the year. Gina Embro, yeah, Greater Manchester, same as me. Yeah, so obviously I'm Manchester, but yeah, if you're Greater Manchester, do tell us where you are as well. Could be Wigan, could be further out than that, whatever. Nicola Cummings, good evening. Wales, lovely. Thank you very much. And good evening, everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Shropshire, Lucinda Austin, hi. Don't forget, like, share, follow. Let's get the community together during this next hour or so. Chance of a reading and pose your questions, and we'll do our best to give you that love guidance from the spirit world, connecting our world with theirs this evening, as always, here on SPTV. Okay, Brenda Walker, Canada. So there's a lot of Canadians with us today. Lovely. I love that picture, by the way. Um, Working with elementals, have just been slightly drawn to that. There's a good chance you might get a reading. Carrie Ann Cook, hello from Kent down south, lovely. What they call the English Garden, very nice. Yeah, okay. Jan Faraday from Sheffield, lovely, just over the Pennines, very nice. Okay, so don't forget, if you want to ask a question, the way that we work now is rather than give you like 40 minutes of spiritual chat and all the rest of it, we've changed the format slightly. I will obviously answer your questions, but I'll go to people who I'm drawn to. But if you ask a question, you're more than likely going to get a chance of a reading as well, because we've slightly changed it. So I'll answer a question and then do a reading, okay? So that it's more interactive for the community. Good evening, Joanne there. I know Joanne. Cindy Ryan, good evening. Hello from the USA. Lovely. Zaley Flowers, hello everyone. Rachel from Texas. Lovely. Very nice. Used to work down in Texas, Galveston. Deb Clark, good evening. Deb, another SPTV presenter there. Very nice. Lovely to have you as part of the community on my show. Melvin Peters from Somerset, lovely. We're all over the place tonight, aren't we? Lots in the all over the UK, and then obviously Canada and America, predominantly there. Gina Ebro, okay. Why do some family come through, but others you never hear from? It's really, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, is that if you're wanting a specific person to come through, you need to ask yourself, are you sitting in the energy of like desperation? So you really want to know that that person's like gone over to the other side. You've got to remember that if they've gone through they're going through their transition. So let's say they've just passed, for example. You've got to sometimes they come through really quickly, sometimes they don't, but other times it's more about they'll come through when you are ready to hear from them, and that you need to go through that healing as well. And I know that the message is part of healing, but you've got to remember that there's different forms of healing. There's a spectrum to that. So if you're not quite where you need to be, or that person wants to come through, yeah, it may be because they're still trying to adjust on the other side before they come through. But then the other part of it as well is, are you doing what you need to do on the grieving cycle, for example? There are certain mediums that will say that they can connect with who you want to come through, and you can call upon that energy, but that needs to be done with a lot of ethical and professional behavior from the medium. It's not something I particularly do myself, I have to say, but I do know people that do it. I allow the spirit, whoever it is, to come through because that's the person that wishes to use me as the vessel, because I believe the spirit picks the medium. And I know that there's a variety of different opinions out there from other mediums and the wider community. So hopefully that answers your question there, Gina. Because, you know, I would just say to you, if you're asking for somebody specific to come through, set the intention rather than go to a medium and expect that message to come through. Set the intention maybe like 2, 3 weeks in advance, you know, specific date, make sure that you're going to be with, a medium, or you're on sptv or wherever it is that you're going, and say, look, I'd like you to come through on this date at this time. You know, if it's sptv, it could be Deb Clark's show, it could be my show, etc. Chances are you're giving the universe the time to respond, okay? And then that message will come through as a synchronization, and the two worlds will meet because you've already set that intention and you're allowing that to just naturally happen rather than kind of like, I want this person to come through, because you're sitting in the lower energies, and that's not a good place to be. So raise your vibration, I'd say, and just set that intention if you want somebody specific, because I feel from behind the question, you do want somebody specific coming forward here, okay? But know that your loved ones are always with you, even if they don't always come through, okay? And just remember that they are transitioning as well. And they may not believe in this type of thing as well. And they may need somebody else to bring them forward as well. So there's lots of variables in this. So just remember that, okay? But I do know, and I don't know whether this is the person that's coming forward that you want, but I know I've got an older lady here coming forward, and she's just kind of she's coming in with a lovely wee tray of uh, like chocolate chip cookies and like homemade biscuits, a variety of them. So she was obviously quite a bit of a dab hand, I want to say, in the kitchen. But I do feel that this is more either kind of like grandmother or great grandmother. Now that I've said that, I want to stick with grandmother actually, okay? And she's just saying to me, would you understand that you're a little bit too much in your own head, and you need to clear your thoughts? I'm being told that you need to get out a little bit more and clear the minds, silence this down, but also the fact that you're worrying about a few things within the family, but in other areas as well. And I want to go to work with that. So there's obviously there's quite a lot going on around you, but I'm being told to tell you you've got what you need within. And this lady is coming forward, and she's saying to me, she just shouted in jam tarts for some reason. So somebody either likes jam tarts, or that was one of the things that I missed off the plate of bacon that she's bringing forward here. Okay. I need to mention the name. I think it's Alice that's coming through, or possibly Alison. I didn't quite catch that. But one of the two names, and that would be either family or in your wider circle, so you would know where Alice is. Do you interact with me when I'm giving you a message as well? If you can take the information, please, because it's all validation and it will help spirit draw forward more to me as well. Um, so I want to just go back to there's a lot of stuff going on within the family, and I don't feel it's necessarily involving you. I feel it's involving other people within the family for the way that I'm being given it, okay? And but you would understand that you're kind of just kind of you've got to the I'm being told to kind of put my hand up here as if to say I'm just sick fed up here. So like obviously there's people in the family that are quite, I want to say, a little bit disruptive, I want to say, and sitting in this kind of like energy of, um, pettiness, I want to say. It's not, I don't feel it's anything serious, and you just kind of get to the point where you're like, oh, just get on with it. But it actually needs to stop because it's happening too much. Hopefully, you would understand that. Okay, your gran used to cook and bake. Most grans do, to be honest. It's just the way she's come in. And it's not, I wouldn't say that that's great evidence, but it's just how she's come in to tell me, okay? Supporting the, right, okay, so this is the main crux of your message, okay? And I just want to say, that this woman, she was quite stern actually, even though she's kind of like laughing here. And I feel like there needs to be a little bit more laughter around you. She's saying to me that you're doing too much for everybody else and you need to learn to say no. Um, okay, you have stepped back, okay? Well, so that's maybe just proof that she's been around you more recently to kind of like give you that energy to step back, I would say. But you definitely need to be learning to kind of like stand in your own energy, your own power, whatever way you want to say that, and actually start putting boundaries in place and saying to people, no, the answer's no, you're old enough and wise enough to actually start this doing it yourself. And I get the sense that there's somebody that's a teenager, but they're kind of like playing on the fact that they're almost like a child, or it may be somebody older who's acting like a child, actually. I want to change it to that. I want to say that somebody who's a little bit older, who's very much kind of like plays on the fact that they're, almost like childlike. And that's the person that you need to put the boundaries up higher and say no. Um, Okay, thank you very much for the validation. I'm also being drawn to, she's mentioning some sort of pond here. So I feel like this is more of a memory, the way that this is coming in. And there's something to do with, come here again, please. There's something to do with, do you understand why I'm getting somebody that saves wildlife? Or there's somebody in the past with this memory that has saved, some sort of wildlife. I feel like it's a bird or a duck or something like that because it's been like on the edge of the pond, from the way that I'm getting it, and somebody's written like took it into their care, but then obviously then gave it to the relevant kind of like animal sanctuary, etc. And she's saying, remember to do some of those things, that you need to do in that way, rather than actually supporting the people who are, not necessarily supporting you back. You've got to remember that this is a two-way street. She's saying, those people that are around you, she's saying that need to be supportive towards you, can't expect you to be supportive when you're not getting it back. So there's obviously like a bit of a divide here. She's also mentioned, not sure about the animal. Okay, help. Right, okay. I do feel like this is a very old memory with this lady, so you may not remember that, and that's perfectly fine. But there's something to do with somebody's went and found an animal and taken it to get help. And I feel like she's saying to me with regards to this, would you understand that you've got quite a deep connection with the animal kingdom as well? You're more kind of like intuitively kind of pulled to animals, or animals are pulled to you. It could be vice versa. Um, and I feel that this is something that'll help you kind of like sort yourself out and get out there. She's saying in relation to kind of like grounding and doing the things that you need to do. You've got to remember here as well, I'm being told to say this, animals are really, really good for our vibration because they like help us transmute negative energies and raise our vibrations as well. But she's also wanting to mention Margaret, okay? So I'm assuming that you'll understand where Margaret is. I do believe that she's upstairs in the world of spirit. Um, I am getting the age of 69, so it's either one of these ladies. So it's either Nan here that passed at 69, or it's this Margaret that because I've been given it after the name Margaret, okay? And I am being drawn to the chest area, but I'm getting oh goodness. Um, I feel like it's like fluid on the lungs, so I want to kind of go pneumonia with this. I don't feel that that's how she passed, but it would have been the start of how she would have started to deteriorate towards the end of life. Okay. Um, would you understand why I want to say dialysis as well? So there's somebody that's on dialysis. I don't feel this is family. I feel that this is in your wider circle. So somebody's got something to do with the kidneys, and there's a bit of like malfunction there because dialysis is coming in. Marjorie, okay, so I may have helped, I may have misheard that. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Um, if you can take it as Marjorie, please do. Okay. Do you understand the dialysis before I leave you? Because that's very significant, I feel, with regards to obviously somebody here who's got some sort of kidney issue. Um, I'm also being told that there also needs to be um, a blood transfusion, or somebody's had a blood transfusion in relation to iron levels. So I sense that that's like anemia, if I remember rightly, from a medical point of view. Um, but she's also saying, would you understand that you've sensed somebody around you and you're not quite sure? She's saying to me very, very softly in my ear here, she's saying, I whisper to her and she looks round, but she doesn't understand it's me. You don't understand the dialysis. Okay, that's fair enough. Would you understand somebody with like the issues with the kidney or lower back pain? Um, Mum, right, okay, so that's where the anemia is, low iron. Okay, that's fine. So now that you've gave me that information, I do feel like the dialysis thing, from how I've been given it, is to do with somebody who's got lower issues with their back, and they're just putting it down to lower back pain, but it's not. It's to do with the kidneys, and dialysis is coming in with that. So if you can't take that at the moment, you just watch out for it, please, because I totally trust my team with what they give me. So I have to, like, say, just look out for that. I don't feel it's family. I feel it's in your wider circle here, okay? Um, and okay. Would you understand why I want to give you 17 as well and 26? So these would be dates within a month. Okay. I also want to give you March and November. So these would be like, anniversaries, birthdays, possibly a passing, that kind of thing here. Okay. And I am being told we'll light a candle on the 26th of next month. So I feel that that's more a passing because it's lighting a candle in remembrance of somebody. Um, excuse me, she's given me wind here as well. So she was obviously she obviously had some sort of like gastro thing going on as well. She's telling me. Um, but you no, right, okay. Would you also understand why she's turning around and yes, I will keep an eye out. Okay, she's just saying it's all. I want to just tap into that, okay? Because she was telling me there, she's like, she says she it's as if she knows somebody's around her, okay? But and it's almost like she's calling your name and you're kind of turning around to acknowledge it, but you feel like nobody's there, okay? But she's actually there from the world of spirit, and she's trying to get your attention with regards to obviously something, possibly the message that I'm giving you. But I do feel that there's something else that I'm not going to open up here in this message because we're on a public platform. March is your birthday and November. Okay, that's fantastic. Great evidence that. And thank you very much for the validation. I do need to give you, before I leave you, I need to give you a pink rose from Margaret. Okay. So I feel that that's more kind of like unconditional love, but you also need to be. I feel like also she's presenting it to you, and as if to say, "Will you wear more vibrant colours here?" That's what I'm getting with it. So I don't know whether you kind of like wear kind of like darker colours. Can you just kind of change some of the colours that you're wearing and wear lighter colours? Because I want to link that with colour therapy and how you kind of like obviously if you're wearing blue, it's to do with the throat chakra, so you have better communication, and we don't actually fully realize, obviously, you know, what all this does fully until we actually start learning it. Okay, but she's also telling me there would be some sort of celebration, and I feel that this is more like a get together. Okay, yeah. I feel like this is more of a get together early December before Christmas, and I feel that that's because not everybody's available at Christmas to come together as a family, okay? But she's telling me that she's always with you. You just need to call upon her. Watch out for the whisper, she's just said, okay? And I'm going to leave you. Please just change your wardrobe a wee bit and just wear pink or something on that spectrum. That's what's came in for you, okay? So I'm going to love you and leave you, Gina. And thank you for the question, and thank you for allowing me to connect with you as well and bring spirit forward for you this evening. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay. Hi, Oracle Seer Psychic Medium. Okay, give us your name. Hi from California. Need a bit of water there. Haley. Okay. What convinced you that what you were getting is from an intelligent spirit and not from the connection to all that is? Well, that's the difference in between obviously connecting with the right energies. And when you understand how we work, Haley, there's a difference between your own energy, the energy of your guides, and then obviously the energy of the spirit coming forward. Um, Obviously I have my family that are always around me that are on the other side as well. So it's knowing the difference in the frequency and the vibration that they come in on. And I can differentiate between obviously who's my guide, who's my family members, and also who is coming through for the relevant person. Okay. Um, I mean, sometimes it is more of an intelligent spirit because obviously I do like different work from mental mediumship. So there's like trance work, and that can be like more kind of like star seeds or other people coming through and wanting to use you in a different way than mental mediumship, obviously involving the whole body and giving your vessel up to spirit so that they can communicate through you. Um, so hopefully that answers that question, Haley. Um, right, okay. I feel that there's a message coming through for you, but I don't feel it's for you per se directly. I feel like this is a message for you to give to somebody else, okay? That the way that I'm being given this. Would you understand a young man who's written past, I want to say in the last 2 to 3 years, and when I say young man, I mean like below the age of 40. He's not given me his age yet, but I want to say he would have passed before he got to 40. I feel like it would have been um, quite tragic, but I also want to say it was also instant, the way that I've been given it. Um, And I also want to say, with regards to that, whoever this is for, because I do feel that this is in your wider circle for the way that I'm getting it, I want to say that the person that is actually missing this person needs to um, move their vibration and frequency up. I do kind of want to say they need to learn to talk about how they're feeling. I feel that this person's quite closed off, and they don't open up. And I am being told that the gentleman that I've got is saying that he would have been a confidant to this person. Okay, I do feel it's another gentleman I'm talking about here, down, on the physical plane. Um, but I feel he's very closed off from how I'm getting this, and he's wanting the gentleman's wanted to say that all is well. Okay, he did go before his time, and it was in, tragic circumstances and quickly, and he's left quite a devastating hole in a lot of people's lives. But he's referencing April and he's referencing March, so there would be something to do with these 2 months. Do you understand this, Haley, please? Can you respond? Okay, okay. I am going to leave that message there because without a response, the energy of the spirit doesn't always come forward fully there. But I do want to say that whoever that message is for around you, Haley, this person has turned around and said that the person here needs to find a new confidant in order to open up and deal with some of the stuff that that person's dealing with. Right, my cousin's child father passed a couple of years. Okay, 52. Okay, that's fine. I felt he was slightly younger than that. But if you understand it like that, okay, that's fine for me. Because we don't always, he wasn't giving me an age, so he may have looked younger. So if he did look younger, that's grand. I just want to say, whoever, whoever the younger person is here, that this message is for around you, okay? My partner passed 22, 22. No, I don't feel he's as young as that. I feel like he's more kind of like towards 40-ish, if not slightly over from what you've said. I do feel it's the other gentleman you mentioned, okay? That feels a stronger connection. And I just want to say there, with regards to that gentleman, again, I want to say that that person needs to learn to open up. And I know that us men are very, very, you know, bad at doing it sometimes, but this gentleman's really, really wanting to come around this person. And I'm also getting, like a bit of depression and kind of like low mood and all that sort of stuff around this person. Um, and some bad habits, really. Okay. Um, I feel like, they're really consuming a bit of too much of like whatever's around them, basically. I'll say it that way, okay? And I just want to say that this person needs almost like an intervention. And I want to say, Haley, that needs to be you. It's almost like the message is coming forward to you to give, but you're one of the people that is actually going to be able to kind of knock down that barrier with this gentleman in order for that gentleman to open up in a nice way rather than being forced to open up. Um, would you understand why I've just got mechanic as well? So somebody either works in sort of like engineering, that kind of thing. So I'm seeing like oiled cogs and things like that. So they would work in like quite a dirty industry. Um, I also want to mention the 13th of May. So that would be significant. Okay. Um, and I also want to say that, right, okay. I also want to say that the gentleman that's come forward is around quite a few of the family, I'm being told. He kind of just like oversees a few things. Would you understand? He's saying that something would have happened recently in the last few days, maybe a week or so here, okay? And I feel like, although this sounds silly to me, that would you understand a young child who's quite susceptible to spirit and has possibly turned around and said, "Oh, I've seen somebody in the hallway or whatever," the way that this has come in. So somebody's got clairvoyance and they're not too sure, but I feel that this is a younger child. Okay, my son and right. Okay, Okay, so the energy may have switched here, okay? You'll check the 13th of May. Please do, because I feel it was significant, because it definitely came together, okay? Do you understand a younger person seeing beyond our world and starting to see into spirit? So I want to say that this person has basically got the gift or the abilities to do what we do. Um, but I also feel like somebody's kind of shutting that down, and I'm being told that that shouldn't happen. Um, but obviously free will here. I am being told that, but please do what you feel is right. I need to say, there's my grandchild has seen and talked about seeing things. Okay, I do feel that if that's the person, I do feel it needs to be encouraged, but just slowly opening them up to the kind of spiritual side of things, okay? Um, if you so want to encourage it, okay? There's also something here to do with um, I don't know whether this is you or not, but who's the person that likes to like spend a lot of money on looking good? Um, I want to say like getting their nails done, beautifying themselves, and we're spending like I want to say at least 40-50% of our income on that side of things. And I'm being told, would you understand that the purse strings need to be tightened? Um, I also want to say, before I leave you, that I feel that I am moving towards yourself. Would you understand that you've been through a little bit of a rough time? I'm not going to open that up, but I do want to say that you feel like the weight and the clouds and the mist are starting to alleviate, and there is an opportunity that's just come in, and you're asking about it and you're thinking about it, but I am being told that you need to ask if this opportunity is the right opportunity. Okay. No idea what that's about. He's not giving me much more than that, but hopefully you would understand that. If it feels quite cryptic, actually, how he's come through. So I don't know whether that's part of his personality, but I do feel he's a bit like guarded with me, which is unusual because a lot of spirit aren't really that guarded with me. But yes, okay, we are encouraging. Right, okay, that's great because I do feel that that is part of the message. But obviously, free will is very important here. Okay, so do what's right. But that's great that you're encouraging that. Would you understand that with yourself that you've been through a bit of a tough time and you're starting to see almost like the light coming in, and there's an opportunity that's either presented itself just in the last few days and you're not sure about it? I am being told that you need to just ask spirit about this, okay? Just ask in your head, set the intention, and the answer will come to you with regards to this. But I do want you to watch out for mid-November, sorry, mid-December. Yes, I have been through it, and it was right. Okay, lovely. So I'm going to close that message there, Haley. Thank you so much for letting me work with you. Thank you for your question, as always, as well. And to the rest of the viewers, if you do have a question, please pose them and I'll try and link in and answer your questions as best as I possibly can. So thank you so much. Okay, and share the love as well, and get as many people on the community as always, worldwide. Okay, so Oracle Seer Psychic Medium. Hi Jordan, I sat in a Zoom practice calls with you previously. Okay, great to see you on here. I go by Sandy as well. Okay. Uh, right. Okay. So you go by Sandy. Right. Okay. So I'm just sorry. I was like that. Kind of was like, oh, that's just gonna take my head back. Like, oh, right. Okay. Who's this? But yes, I kind of because your photograph is just very like just on the bottom corner. I can kind of remember who you are visually when you've been in a circle. So lovely to see you here on the community. Okay, Sandy. Thank you so much for joining us. Please share the love across your Facebook and YouTube, etc., and get as many people on as possible and get this community together. So, okay, Julie Hurst, do spirit have jobs in the afterlife, like helping those left on this side? Absolutely. 100% Julie. So as they transition to the world of spirit, they possibly may come back as a helper or an inspirer in relation to being part of your individual spirit team. They may be doing other work on the other side. It may not be with you. I have obviously lots of family on the other side in the world of spirit. My grand's always with me, especially when I go and do like churches and centres. She is here actually, so she's making me smile now. So yeah, 100%. You know, don't some people ask me this question and they go, but why have they transitioned and then they've not come back to be part of my team, or why aren't they around me? Well, they are around you. They might be off doing their spiritual job on the other side, but you can call upon the energy of that person to come in, give you love, support, guidance, etc. But they are obviously busy on the other side as well, doing whatever it is that they've been assigned to do as part of their transition and evolution and ascension, so to speak. So 100%, Julie, they do have jobs on the other side. You've got to remember, even although we're in a physical vessel, once we've gone, we're still working. Okay, so hopefully that helps you with that, Julie. Okay, right. I'm assuming that the person in the photograph is you, and I can't see your face fully, but would you understand a lady very similar? And I just want to come to the jawline because it's quite angular. Okay, she's kind of coming in here, and she's just saying to me with regards to a few things here. Okay, I do feel that this is a bit of a shorter message actually, the way she's come in, but she's come storming in. I want to put her about 5.5 feet, maybe slightly lower, but she's round about there. I am sat down, so yeah, she's about here, and she's just saying to me, "Oh, she's oh, I can't say that word." She's she's used a bit of flowery language there. She's just used the word B, but not with an I after it. The U, okay, and you can fill in the blank there. And she's saying you're way too much in your own head, and you're sat in relation to kind of like lots of things that are going. Would you understand that it's like, oh, you do this, you leave this, you jump to this, you leave this, and this, that, the next thing. And she would have been the type of person that would have been really organized. And it's like literally you commit to this, you finish this, then you move to the next thing. I feel she's coming in quite stern, and it's about you prioritizing what needs to be prioritized here. She's saying, organize your life, take the time out to put things in their places. And it's very interesting because she keeps on one. She's very close to me, so she was obviously. I feel that she spoke with her hands quite. So she's quite animated, which is lovely energy to work with, by the way. But she's also saying to me that, would you understand there needs to be a decluttering? I don't want to open that up, but hopefully you would understand that, Julie. Please respond to me when I'm connecting with you as I am with Spirit. Yeah, I understand. Have been right. Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. Okay, so what she's saying to me is that you would understand that this lady's very much around you. Do you understand this lady to be mother? That's just literally popped in because I felt it was more gran, but she's told me mother. So it was either Gran, who's very motherly, or but I do want to stick with Mum here. So do you understand that, please? And she's saying that. Would you understand that you're more like Dad than her? Although you can be a little bit like her, but you definitely are more like Dad. She's referencing, and she's saying that she was the one that always made sure everything was kind of done, things were in its place and all the rest of it. And she just wants you to get a little bit less decluttered, more organized, take the time out to do it, okay? And well, that's just proof that she's around you today, you see. And she's just saying, don't stop when you're doing something because it's like you get it's like you get right. Okay, so Nan, okay, that's fine. Very motherly though, very motherly um, energy. Okay, and I feel like she was quite a staunch character the way she's coming in as well. She seems to be coming in a little bit more forceful now. And she's like, would you understand why I'm wanting to say you're your own worst enemy? You get distracted and that's why things don't get done. And then you feel like, oh my goodness, I've got so many things to get done. And she's just saying to me, she needs to learn to just commit to one thing and actually finish it before she moves to something else. Another one that like, needs to learn to say no, I'm being told. You say yes to too many people. And I do feel that that's more family with you, from what I've just went and got. But she wants to leave you here. Do you understand a connection to Cornwall, please? It's either that or she wants to give you scones with like Devonshire cream and jam and all that on it. So I don't know whether this is something that she likes, but I'm to give you that, and I have to give you a china cup and saucer. I feel like this would have been how this lady would have drunk her tea, to be honest, the way she's just come in. And she's basically just plopped herself down beside me here. And she's like, oh, I'm loving this. I'm just having a wee natter. It's like the good old days when I was here. I do feel like this lady comes round you an awful lot, actually. She is telling me she moves a few things in your house. I want to say keys predominantly with that, okay? But you watch out where what's that? Will you watch out, or this has happened possibly in the last few days. Would you understand that it's like somebody's purse or wallet keeps kind of like disappearing and being moved? It's like, oh, I definitely left it there. It's been moved. This is this lady. She's telling me. She says, I'm trying to get their attention, but they're not paying attention. I've got a wagging finger coming in as well. This is she's so funny. Um, so please take her love, okay? She's just saying to you, really, will you just like organize yourself a little bit better, okay? She's saying that you'll feel better in your surroundings if you just declutter and get yourself organized, okay? So your environment affects you. This is me, not her. Your environment affects you. That obviously, the cleaner and decluttered it is, the cleaner the mind, the more focused we are. Okay, so please take her love. Oh, she's just went and shouted in July for me. So there's something to do with July as well. So I don't know whether that's to do with this lady or somebody in the family, but I'm not getting a date with that. Okay. Okay, you don't understand the purse. If it's not happening, you just watch out for a purse or a wallet. Somebody's like, it's got money in it, and it's being moved ever so slightly, like a couple of inches from where it is. It's like the car keys or whatever, a set of keys and a wallet are being put together, and then there's like a bit of a gap between them, and the person's kind of questioning, oh, why's that happened? So it's just those subtle energetic shifts that she's kind of like moving a few things about just to try and get your attention. But I do want to say that this lady sits with you at night. And for some reason, I want to mention Coronation Street before I leave you. Please take her love. Just know that she wants you to just declutter your life. She's very much around you, and she wants you to connect with her as well, actually. She's just went and shouted that in. So I'm going to love you and leave you, Julie, with that. Okay. Please take her love. Thank you for your question, and thank you for allowing me to bring her forward. Okay. So thank you so much. Have a good evening and stay with us and share the love. Okay, Richard. I'm dead thirsty tonight, This is boiling in here. Right, okay. Good evening, Chris Bram. Yes, good evening to you too. Lovely. Good evening. Okay, Mel Dean. Is it more difficult for someone who chooses to leave this world to communicate with us compared to someone who passed naturally? I feel that that question is really down to the person individually. You sometimes that sometimes, in my opinion, and from what I've observed from doing circles and obviously being part of this community, is that it's really down to that person who passes over to spirit. So, you know, you've got to remember it's similar to the question that I answered before. They are going through a transition through spirit. They're also doing a reflection on their life. When they're ready to come forward and communicate, they will do. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just to give the persons or person here time to heal, because we do want them with us, but we've got to also move forward with our lives, and not stay in that, grief cycle. So we've got to let those emotions out, and really heal ourselves in relation to that. And when they choose to come forward, whether that's immediately or in a few weeks' time or a few months' time, it can sometimes be years in some people's cases. But it also, I think that's down to so many different parameters here. It's like, if you're not into, like, spiritualism, let's say you're on a more skeptical side, okay? Um, I've had it where, that person's wanted somebody to come forward, and that person has come forward for that person. But then other people who are in this movement want a specific person to come forward, and that person doesn't come forward. But I would say go back to what I said earlier on with the other question. Set that intention on a date and a time, somewhere you're going to be, where you ask for that person to come forward and communicate with you. Okay. And it's really down to, if they pass naturally, and I feel with that, I need to say that if the person passes naturally and it wasn't such a shock, they were probably almost prepared for it. I feel like they do tend to come forward a little bit sooner, in my opinion. That's not spirit. But I also feel that sometimes when it's a difficult passing, um, they can come forward really quickly sometimes, but that really depends on, whether they need a message to come forward. But in my experience, what tends to happen is it's somebody else on the world of spirit that will come forward, and they'll say to you, "Oh, I've got, inverted commas here. I've got Michael here. He's with us, and we just want to let you know that he's okay, but he's not ready to come forward, for example, okay, because he's doing what he needs to do to ascend and go through that transition of to the world of spirit, so that he's able to come forward and communicate. You've got to remember, they've got to build up their energetic body from leaving the vessel to come forward to blend with a medium in order to bring that message forward for you, okay? So hopefully that answers your question, Mel. Um, okay. Okay, I'm going to leave that there with you, Mel. Okay. So, okay, can we move on then, Richard, please? Yeah, so I've no response. So I am going to leave it there. I do need you to interact with me in order for, a person in spirit to come forward. Due to the lack of non-response, I am going to leave that there and move to the next question, hopefully bring in the next spirit with it as well. Thank you very much. Oh, welcome. You're welcome, Mel. No problem. Okay. Oh, good evening, Trevor. Um, I hope all is well with you. Okay, Catherine Johnson. When a loved one passes suddenly without saying goodbye, how do they cope? Well, the thing is here is, I would actually revert that question. How are you coping? They've gone to the light. So as soon as they transition and they're okay with the fact that they've gone over, I mean, it's like, we refer to it as heaven, we refer to it as the spirit world, we refer to it as utopia and all these wonderful things. And they've met up with all of your loved ones and all the people that have been involved in your family or friends, etc. And they are now connecting with all of those people on the other side. So don't think that they're alone, because they're not. They're with everybody else that's passed over, you know, within your family and friend circle. So they have got that support on the other side, just as much as we have got that support on the other side. Um, so I don't feel like, you know, some of them do struggle with not necessarily coping, but normally how they passed, as if, oh, I was taken too early. I wanted to do so much more, and I didn't realize my time was coming up. That tends to come through in a message sometimes as well when we're doing mediumship. It's like, you know, they didn't get a chance to do X, Y, Z because they didn't realize that their time was running out, so to speak. You know, um, so I would just say to you, they're coping as well as they can on the other side. You've got to remember, we're going through a transition of grief. They're going through a transition of obviously leaving a human vessel and then going to the other side. But they've got the whole world of spirit up there helping them to adjust and ascend so that they can come through and obviously communicate through the relevant medium and give love and guidance to us lovely humans down here. Um, you know, so I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, you know, try and rephrase that question in your mind, and they're okay once they go to the light, as I would say, and they've got lots of support on the other side. And as I've mentioned before, I just want to mention this again, is that once they go to the other side, even if they don't come through immediately, you've got to remember that they are adjusting, and you may get a message from somebody else that, you know, comes forward, but they'll tell you that that person's okay. They're just not ready to come forward yet. Because you've got to remember, you know, the energies that are in spirit, it takes them such a long time to build that up to come forward, just like it does for us mediums to be able to build ourselves up to that frequency, to sit in that higher vibration, to connect to two worlds. So, you know, you've got this duality all the time, okay, Catherine? Um, so hopefully that answers that. And you've said that's good. So yeah, please always just, you know, never think negatively when they pass over. Yeah, it might have been sudden. We're grieving and we're not in a good place, but they've got lots of love and support, not only from obviously friends, family on the other side, but they've also got all of the world of spirit around them, including all the different dimensions of archangels and God Himself and all the rest of it. So it's what you want to choose as your reality, and what you choose is the reality of what heaven or spirit world is. Um, you know, as a medium, it's interesting because sometimes we get glimpses of the spirit world, and I can tell you from what I've experienced, it's absolutely beautiful. Um, so I would I would say to you to take that on board, okay? Um, Now, I do understand here that there is a gentleman, he's a little bit reluctant to step forward, okay? I feel that this is more of a friend of the family here. Would you understand a gentleman round about 5'9", 5'10" in height? I want to say if it's not his name, there would be a link to the name Thomas here, okay? Do you understand that, Catherine? I also want to say that this gentleman, phew, right, this, yes, okay, lovely. Would you understand that this gentleman had quite a few health complications, predominantly to do with the upper side of his body, lungs? I feel like it's his lungs. I feel like it's his heart that would have taken him over in the end. But there was lots of medical um, intervention, is the word I want to use there. Okay, and he's just saying to me here, and I don't know whether this is you or somebody. Would you understand somebody's holding on to an image of before he passed, as in like how he was and he was not at his best? He's telling me that somebody's focusing on an image here. Um, and he wasn't in a good way. And he's telling me that the person needs to move beyond that and look at like photographs of him and say and remember the energy and the personality and the character of the person when he wasn't ill. So somebody's really, really kind of like being stagnant with this imagery in their head, and I'm being told to let it go. I also want to mention something to do with. Okay, right. That's lovely. Thank you. Um, that sits with me better now that you've told me that because it feels it just feels a bit better. So he's making reference to. Oh right, okay. Would you understand that you've got relatives or connections to pretty much the whole of the United Kingdom? Because he's just literally jumped me from Ireland to Scotland to Wales, and then he kind of like moved over to sorry, Ireland, Scotland, England, and then he moved me over to Wales. Sorry. So I feel like there's like we've either travelled the length and breadth of the country, but I feel like family's also quite diversified throughout the country from what he's telling me. I also want to say that somebody, would you understand why I want to mention New York? So either somebody's been to New York or somebody's wanted to go to New York. Um, Yes, we have. Right, okay. I'm assuming that's to do with the United Kingdom part of it. Do you understand New York for me? Because he keeps mentioning it. Um, right, okay. Right. Would you also understand that he's telling me, would you understand that somebody around you, I don't feel it's you, I might not might be wrong there, but I feel like there is okay. Would you understand a baby is on its way in? I'm being told there's a baby on its way in. I want to go to New York. Right. Okay. So I knew it was either you've been or you want to go. Okay. I am being told, just because you gave me the confirmation, I'm being told just be patient with it, but tighten the purse strings a little bit with regards to it, but also watch it for a deal early next year, which will allow you to do this in 2026. Oh, wow. Right. Okay. So I feel like maybe, sorry? Yeah, I feel like watch out for a deal coming in early 2026, sorry, early 2025 to go early 2026. So it's almost like you're going to be booking it a year in advance. Okay. Uh, but I'm being told it's a really good offer. I might need to have a word with my spirit team. Right. Anyway, so he's mentioning something to do with a baby coming. Didn't hear of a baby yet. Okay, right. Let me just work into that a little bit. Okay, because he's mentioning it for a reason. Okay, okay, okay. I've got to mention with the baby. I'm being told end of May, beginning of June. So I feel like with that, somebody at the moment around you is obviously pregnant and possibly doesn't know because it's quite early on if you work that back. So it's almost like, you know, that's just happening. And I am being told, would you understand why I want to mention grandchild? So this would be somebody, this would be his grandchild that's about to be born next year. So that would help you place where the baby's coming from. I also want to mention the name Veronica here. I don't know whether that's linked to the baby bit, but I've got to shout out Veronica. Okay. Um, okay. Right. There's also something to do with right, okay, thank you. Um, there's also something he's making mention to do with something. I think it's a dog lead. And I don't know whether this has happened recently. I feel it's more of a memory. Would you understand having a dog or somebody having a dog on a lead and the lead's literally like, you know, when a dog pulls and through wear and tear, literally the lead snapped and he's like stood here laughing his head off at it. And I feel that this is going back now that I've actually gave you all that information. And he's just laughing and he's saying, it was so funny. And I want to second him. Oh, right. Okay. Lovely. Thank you for that. Um, so there's something to do with that. Like he wants to kind of create that laughter. So I feel that there's a need for laughter before I go here. Okay. This gentleman's wanting to kind of up the vibrations. We need to be having a bit of laughter. And he's mentioning good times and he's bringing that dog lead in and he's kind of saying to me, as much as people pull and all the rest, but he's referring this back to somebody that's pulling you. So that's interesting. Would you understand somebody's basically taking the Michael, I want to say. I can't say what he said. I feel like somebody's like really, really kind of like tugging on you a little bit, asking for a bit too much. I have a dog called Max. He's very lively. Right, okay, that's fine. Do you understand the dog lead snapping? I feel that that's a memory. I don't know whether that's with him or with you, but he's mentioning that, and it would have been quite a lively dog. I want to kind of say something similar to like a spaniel or something like that. Quite a long-haired dog, but medium size, not big. Um, so he's making a little bit of a laugh with that, but he's also making the reference in relation to the lead that somebody's pulling on you a little bit too much, and that needs to stop. I also need to give you February for some reason, okay? And I want to jump to this month of October. I think we're still in October, aren't we? Yeah, Halloween's tomorrow. Yeah, so I want to jump to October. Um, so there'd be anniversaries, passings, that kind of thing within that. And I also want to mention before I leave you 18 and 22, okay? Springer Spaniel, lovely. Okay, and I'm just going to ask him for something. Okay. Right, he's telling me that would you understand that there was it's either a watch or a gold bracelet of his that would have been left. He's mentioning that, but he's also saying to me, um, somebody likes the mince pies a little bit too much. They've already started eating. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to leave you with that, Catherine. So whoever that enjoys the mince pies. Absolutely. I love a mince pie myself, but yeah, I try and past in October. Right. So that's probably why he's come through, if it's near his anniversary or if the anniversary's just been. And I feel that it's just been. Okay. Um, so that's lovely that, because that's what they do tend to do. They come through on those important dates or around those important dates when you need that advice and guidance. Okay. I'm going to leave you with that mince pie. But just so you know, Catherine, if we ever meet, nice big dollop of cream of mine, okay? And it's my pleasure to connect the two worlds and on your behalf this evening, okay? And thank you very much for your message. You have a good evening and stay with us, okay? Thank you so much. Okay, who's next? Oh, Serendipity 589. Yes, I recognise that. A regular. Jordan, you're being very accurate. That's the whole point. Bring through the evidence and hopefully it's accurate. And what I would say to you is if you're a budding medium there, please trust what Spirit give you. You don't need to understand why they're giving you it. Your job is to then reflect on the message, go back and add it to your toolbox as you develop. Okay? Please just trust what you're being given, give it, and hopefully your sitter will understand it. If the sitter doesn't understand it, go back and ask your team. Okay, so there's a little bit of advice for those budding people that wish to connect. Okay, Wendy, hello. Do our loved ones who have passed attend their own funeral? Yes, absolutely. So sadly, obviously, I've lost both my parents. Dad this year, coming up to 5 years for mum in November. And I remember seeing several people at my mum's funeral. My mum being one, And it was kind of like just before COVID and all that sort of stuff. And there was just because of the time of year, it was like it was. I think it was like 20 days before, between her passing and the funeral or something like that. And I remember seeing my mum being there next to us, which is myself and my sister, and my auntie was also sat in the front row. Um, and there was my nan and my granddad, all on my mum's side. And there was a few other people as well. So yeah, I mean, if you're lucky enough to see them there, um, please take that blessing, even if you're not like, clairvoyant normally or whatever. You're supposed to see what you're supposed to see at that time. And sometimes spirit will just kind of like manifest that so that you are given that glimpse into the world of spirit to say, look, I'm here, I'm always going to be with you. And you just need to ask for them to come forward and help you. But if you don't ask, you don't get. And I know that's like such a. Go on, Richard. Yes, I would say with regards to cremations as well, because my mum was cremated, because that tends to be our family thing. Although there's a couple of people that have chose to be buried because they've ended up kind of going away from the traditional family, cremation, and that's their choice, and we shouldn't, and put our own opinions into how somebody wishes to be remembered. I mean, I've got a cousin who passed away some time ago. She gave birth to a lovely baby boy and sadly passed shortly afterwards. But there was a lot of complicated circumstances around that. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, she was cremated, as far as I know, but they've built a grave with a headstone and all the rest of it, and decorated it so that her son, who was obviously still a baby, has got somewhere to go and obviously connect with his mother, in the local graveyard. So yes, Wendy, what a question, I have to say. Beautiful. That's really gave me some beautiful memories as well, actually, that you give me that. And that's the joys of what I do, and lots of us do. You ask a question, but it brings back lots of lovely memories for me. So I do know, while you've asked me a question, Wendy, and I saw your name earlier on, and that's very interesting. Um, is would you understand, first of all, you've got Wendy, okay? But I am being told that Wendy would be a significant name in the family. So you've either been named after somebody or somebody's been named after you. Because I've got to mention the name Wendy twice. And I know you're saying Wendy on your viewer name, but I need to give you the name at least twice. But I do feel that there's a third, and I feel that that's going a little bit back. Okay, as if somebody was called Wendy and then it skipped a generation, and then there's two people that are kind of like, one generation below each other. I want to say that first. Okay, so I've got a lovely gentleman stepping forward, and he's coming forward with some lovely energy. I want to say he's got a little bit of air and grace about him, very dignified energy here. Okay, and I feel like he would have been very, very presentable. I feel like he would have been quite a practical man from what he's given me here. So he would have had a practical job in his younger years, and then he would have transitioned to more kind of like, I want to say, like administration, that or like an office job, that kind of thing. Um, and I do want to say that this feels more like a kind of like uncle that's coming in rather than a father, because I feel like it's next door there. Um, and do connect with me while I'm giving you the information, please, Wendy. Here, okay? Um, I also want to give you the name here of Douglas. So I don't know whether that's this gentleman's name, but do you understand the name Douglas that's been mentioned, please? Okay. Oh, right. Okay, I've got that wrong. So I want to say that there's a connection to Ireland. So Douglas Island. They've just been told it's not a name. So there'll be a connection to the Douglas area in Ireland. Okay? So there'll be Irish connections. Okay? But would you also understand that I want to say that there's family over the pond in America as well, and I do feel like some I do feel like they went over um, round about 1956, 57. Oh, my husband, he was a car mechanic. Right, okay. So I feel like it was very practical. I didn't get the job, but yeah, practical mechanic and then into accountancy. So you knew it was like admin and office. So lovely. So it might be your husband then. Um, so, okay. Do you understand he's a little bit kind of like standoffish as well? He just said to me, "Oh my dear, do you understand why I want to say that there are still tearful moments around you with this gentleman's passing?" He just wants me to mention that and say to him, he's always with you, even in the bad times and the good times. But I feel like you've been going through a bit of a struggle with that recently, from what he's telling me. But he's saying that better days are coming. You need to look forward to the celebrations in November and December. But I feel like those are separate celebrations to Christmas, okay? He's not giving me anything else with that. But I do want to give you here 18, number 18, okay? So that's either within a month or a door number or maybe it's a person's age. He is making reference to um, would you understand when you were the predominant cook, but at times he would have cooked, and he's making reference to the fact, yeah, I wasn't very good, but I did try, but I used to burn everything, and he's really making me laugh with this. Your daughter's birthday, lovely. That I mean, that's fantastic, and many congratulations to your daughter here. And so it's just their way of coming in and obviously saying that they're going to be there at those celebrations as well because they're mentioning it. Okay, and I want to say here, with with the food, would you understand him burning stuff when he tried to cook? He's saying the best that I could do was like beans on toast. Every now and again, a fried egg. That was me. I can't cook. Ah, right. Okay. So I've got that round the wrong way. So he's having a laugh at your expense. Sorry, Wendy. But that's just made me giggle. And he's like chuckling behind me here. Um, and okay. Would you also understand why I want to say that things have not been divided up properly after he passed? I feel like with that, ooh, I just want to say that I get the sense that there was a bit of a bit of a commotion about somebody wanting something they didn't get or whatever. But I want to say you stood your grounds and his wishes were fulfilled, is what I'm being told to say. Okay, and I'm being told to the letter. So he's very happy here with regards to that. Okay, and I've got to say, okay, um, I've got to say here. I don't know whether this is a song or not. Maybe Richard can help me. I just keep getting "Oh My Love," so I don't know whether he's referring to you as in "Oh My Love," but I keep getting "Oh My Love, Oh My Love." So I don't know whether it's a song. Ah, yes, yes. That's why. Yes, thank you, Richard. Fantastic. So there's obviously some sort of significance with that song because it keeps being repeated in my head. And I thought at first he was saying "Oh my love," but yeah, now that I've just said that, and Richard's helped me there with the song because I'm not great with songs, I have to say. So he's also turned around and said to me, "Buddy Holly, yeah, yeah," and he's also turned around and said, "Remember." When you're sitting, yeah, and you feel a slight tingle on the back of your hand, that's me, my dear. I'm sat right next to you. even although I'm in spirit, I'm always with you. I'm going to leave that message there because I feel that that's just the perfect end to that, Wendy. Okay. Okay, lovely. Yeah. All right, Wendy, please take his love. He's a beautiful gentleman, so gentle and coming in as well. A lovely, dignified person. Um, and I feel he's very sadly missed, not only from you, but obviously the wider family. I feel it's left a great hole. Um, but please know that he's around you, okay? And I'm going to leave that with you. And thank you very much for your question and allowing me to bring forward the gentleman. You are most welcome, my darling. That's why we do this, to bring the love and the light of spirit forward to those that need it. Okay? So, Kate Kempson, can spirit be in multiple... Sorry, can spirit be with multiple people in different locations at the same time? For example, sorry, for comfort as an example. Absolutely, Katie. So when you haven't got the confines of your physical body, we are energy, and energy is dispersible. Okay, so it can be everywhere. Okay, what we don't realize is all timelines, all dimensions are all running at the same time. So when you realize and you go through your journey, through your own spiritual journey and all that, you'll be given glimpses and things like that, and you'll get a better understanding of that. But that is basically, yes. The answer to that is absolutely yes. You can be in multiple places at multiple times. I've had a family member with me, and then somebody in my family has been in a church in Scotland and went, "Oh my goodness, your mum came through in a message," and I'm like, "Okay, you know," but I know she's always with me when I'm doing my work as well. So 100%, they can be in multiple places. They're normally where they're needed to be, and that's what I would say to you to remember. Where they're needed is where they are. Okay. And it's like the other question before, where somebody asked about them transitioning and having a job in spirit. Yes, they can be up there doing whatever they're doing up down there, and then part of that energy comes forward enough for enough for the medium to connect and bring forward a message. So it's the same kind of thing, but obviously, you know, we're talking about physical with them being here in the physical with me and being with another medium in the physical, for example, from what I've just gave you. But then they can be up there doing what they're doing and down here and connecting with us in lots of different ways. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's just. You're welcome, Kate. I am just going to tap in here. Okay. I shouldn't assume, but with the photograph, I feel I'm with the gentleman in the photograph, okay? And I do want to go to more of a friend link here. And he's not given me how he's passed, but I do want to say that this gentleman would have passed late 20s, okay? Obviously, well before his time, as far as, a lot of people are concerned. And I'm just being told can he pass on a message to the relevant family to say that he transitioned safely? Even though it was a shock and it was very sudden, I feel like it was a health issue that was undiagnosed the way that this is coming in. Okay. Please do try and connect me. I don't know if your partner or whoever that gentleman is there, if he would understand the information or you would, but it will help me connect with the energy that's coming forward. Okay. And I do feel it's more kind of like one of those messages that need to be passed on. He has transitioned. He's okay, but I am being told in reference to mum that they wouldn't really be into this type of thing. Okay. Um, but he wants to come forward and give her some guidance and a message from spirit. So I don't know whether you are able to pass that message on, but if you can you please pass it on? Because this gentleman really, really wants to bring forward some love and light within a message for his relevant family members. I do feel I've just got a car, and I feel like it's been quite a bad collision from the way that I've just saw it. So again, Kate, I don't know whether you can take this or not, but I do feel more drawn to the gentleman in the picture. So it would be somebody in his circle, possibly your circle as well, but there would be there would be a stronger connection between these two gentlemen. Okay. Would you understand the name Daniel? So I don't know if it's this gentleman's name, but I need to bring Daniel forward, okay, as a name that would connect either with the gentleman here or would connect around yourself or your partner there. Well, I'm assuming it's your partner. I shouldn't assume. Again, can you just confirm that? Obviously, I personally can't. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Right. Okay. Do you understand the Daniel? Because I feel like I'm moving on from part of that message that needs to be moved, needs to be given elsewhere. But do you understand Daniel around you? On the earth, not in spirit. If you can, will you just give me a yes? And I'll try and tap into what's coming forward for you. If not, then I am going to have to leave the connection because you will be the last reading this evening due to time. Okay. I want to say Daniel is in a work, it is in relation to work. You may not directly know this person or work so closely with the person, but they're within the same company as you. That's the way that it's coming in. Don't know somebody called Daniel. I might still be with a husband or your partner there then. Okay. Let me just find out why that's coming in. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. I may have my wires crossed. I believe somebody else in chat is taking all of this. Chris Bram. Okay. Okay. It does happen sometimes, so I'm going to just take this as spirit are jumping in. You need the message. Okay. Apologies to obviously the other person there. But I am going to work with this here, okay? Kate, apologies, but I do feel that that first part of that message is relevant to somebody around your partner as well, okay? Even although the other person can take it here, okay? So please take the love and thank you for your question. Okay, I'll go back to the gentleman then, please, Richard. Thank you. Right, Chris Bram. Okay, so you can take everything that's being said and you can understand the Daniel that's here around you. This would be in a work situation. Okay, thank you. Right, okay. Would you understand why I'm being told there is a relocation around you? I don't feel it's necessarily you. I feel that there's somebody going to be relocating. Not necessarily far, but there's going to be like a move. And I want to say that this is more to do with moving house rather than moving job, but it may be interlinked because I'm getting several pieces with this. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Just going back to how the gentleman passed, he's given me a little bit more because I feel like obviously this part, I feel like it could be like a bit of a split message here, just so that I know that I'm definitely with you here. Would you understand that obviously with the car crash, there would have been substances or there would have been talk of substances involved around the collision? I don't feel it's with the gentleman in spirit. I feel it's with the other driver. Okay. I feel like they would have been intoxicated on something or something like that. Okay. Right. That's fine. Thank you so much. Because I just needed to just separate it because I feel like it was a double message coming in. Okay. Right. Okay. Do you understand why I want to give you September the 15th? They may not be together, but I've been given them together, so I would say that that would be a specific. Right, okay, lovely. Yeses are good. I don't need any more information than a yes. September the 15th. So they want to, right, he was killed by a car. Yeah, I definitely got that with the other message as well, but I wanted to make sure that there was, you could take the intoxication part, okay? So I'm just going to try and move on from that and just find out what the guidance and the advice is coming forward for you here, okay? Um, right, okay, right. Right, they're making reference to somebody in a friend's circle here. Um, and would you understand why I'm being told, I can't say that word, sir. Okay. I am being told that I'm just going to say the person's two-faced. That's probably the nicest way to say it. I just feel that they're not everything's uh, not everything you see is the truth. Okay, that's kind of how I want to see it. Hopefully you'll understand that without me going into it the way it had just been given to me. Okay, and I need to say be cautious there. Okay, but I also want to come to you with regards to work. Okay, and I am being told. Would you understand there is a little bit of a situation. I don't feel it's a bad situation though. I feel like there's a bit of a situation, and there's talk of um, the company diversifying or restructuring or something like that's coming in, and I feel like there's either like a promotion or a sidestep, but it's going to be better than what you do now basically, regardless of whether it's a side step or whether it's a step up. Okay. So I'm being told green light, you need to go for it, put yourself forward. I'm also being told to tell you this will be the making of you. Um, okay. Would you understand why he's mentioning the gentleman's mentioning that right. But you understand why the gentleman, before he goes, he wants to bring a memory in here, okay? And he's wanting to say to you, do you remember the nights out where we used to have to carry each other out the pub, that kind of thing, okay? Because we were too drunk, etc. But he's also making reference to the fact that, um, how can I put this? You're a bit of a ladies' man, basically, and so was he. Okay, I feel like they're very much in that energy when you're in your younger years. Not to say that you're not maybe like that now, but I feel like he wants to bring that memory in there. Okay, and he's saying to me, just try and live life with joy, laughter, and fun. Tell those that knew me I'm okay, and although it was tragic, it was instant. I need to say that it was instant. Okay. Um, I do feel with that there was. Oh right, okay. Oh, so maybe the other way around, Chris. Maybe you like the boys a little bit too much or whatever. But yeah, I don't mean it in like in a bad way. I just mean like you enjoyed that kind of like gathering, going out, having fun, and living your youth. That's kind of what I want to say with that. Nothing. You know, bad with it. And I feel like you need a bit of that at the moment. Okay, I feel like he wants to bring that fun forward. Get out, put your glad rags on, girl. Get the lippy on. And he's making reference to I want to say like really really big high heels. So the fact that like it's almost like you're walking like like a stick man, it's showing me some imagery. It's funny. Um, right, okay. Let me just see what he wants to leave you with before we finish. Okay. Um, okay. Sorry, one sec. I'm getting a smell here. So I'm just trying to work out what it is. do you know what? I know this, and I can't for the life of me get the name yet. Would you understand smelling this gentleman's aftershave every now and again, please? He's telling me he's around you. Watch out for the smell because that's when he's very close. And that's how I'm going to leave that with you, Chris. Okay. And my apologies because I did assume Chris was the gentleman in the picture. So, no offense. I shouldn't make assumptions. Lesson learned, spirit. So please take his love. Thank you very much for voicing up that you could take all of the message. And it's my pleasure to connect the gentleman with yourself. Okay. We are out of time, please, this evening. But thank you very much for all the love in the community, your questions, and obviously letting me connect two worlds together on your behalf. If you didn't get a message, please take what resonates within a message for you, okay? Because there are always little messages within fuller messages, in my opinion. Please, have a great fortnight. I'll see you in 2 weeks, and love, light, and blessings to you all. Okay. Good night. God bless. Ta-ra for now.